So due to the coronavirus and supply and demand side shocks that we've been seeing as of late, government stepping in and rolling out fiscal stimulus packages, as well as central banks reducing rates. In the case of the Fed last week, reducing rates by 0.5% in a surprise move ahead of schedule. Same holds for the Bank of England, doing that 2 weeks ahead of time yesterday, reducing rates by 0.5%. So when the European Central Bank, or ECB, meets later today, it's not really a question of whether they're going to reduce rates, it's more of a question of by how much. But there's a big problem here, and that's the lack of maneuverability. To understand this, we kind of need to look at where rates stood prior for the other central banks. In the case of the Fed, 1.5 to 1.75. BOC 1.75, the Bank of England 0.75. Whereas in the case of the ECB, it currently stands its main refinancing rate at 0%. If we take a look at the other rates, it doesn't look much better. Deposit rate negative 0.5%. That's the rate at which banks are charged to make overnight deposits within the euro system. So what about quantitative easing? Well, they already have a program in place, and that's a 20 billion euro per month bond purchasing program. Now, of course, they could up the bond purchases. They could also reduce the rates, for example, by 0.1% by really small amounts. But overall, a real lack of ammunition when it comes to ECB compared to the other central banks. Money markets, by the way, pricing in more rate cuts out of these other central banks. So looking at Euro USD, technicals are irrelevant when we go into such a fundamental event. The overview, however, is volatile to say the least, and not just for Euro USD. And when we take a look at trader sentiment, well, the majority short in both retail as well as large speculative traders, according to the latest COT report. Mapping it onto the chart, the daily chart, you can see that in the case of retail buys, blue dotted line, they were holding an extreme long bias back when prices were at 107s. When it made a move up, well, longs took profit, shorts initiated an average into the short side. So what was an extreme buy bias is now majority short, 67%.